Welcome back, everyone, to episode 50 of Against the Call. Half 100. We are on our way to 100 episodes, and what better way to do it than to have a guy who's wanted to come on for quite some time now. He was John's biggest hater for a while, and he probably and he always made it funny for us when we posted graphics near the beginning. But he's back. Give it up for Dingles, everyone. Dingles has joined us today. Dingles, how's your day going?
Great, man. How are y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, there's been not a whole lot has gone on in sports like recently, but we're still going to cover as much as possible and give you guys a good episode. So today's lineup is going to be around the league, MLB. We're going to be talking to Dingles and just the guys about some stuff going on in the MLB. We're going to have around the league NCAA baseball. There's a lot of conference championships going on right now. We're going to have the first player that comes to your head when you see the logo, NFL edition. We're going to show a picture of an NFL team and let the guys just pick whoever comes to their head first as a player. We're going to have NFL talk, asking Dingles, just about a bunch of stuff in the NFL. We're going to have our Mount Rushmore, the best college football head coaches ever. We're going to have our NBA talk, NHL talk, and our last segment is going to be draft day, all things Mike. We're going to also have our post game after that. So let's just jump right into it, guys. A little bit to know about Dingles, other than him just being a John hater. He also plays JUCO baseball. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I haven't really played in the spring yet, but the one season I did play, so I got thoracic outlet syndrome in 2021, and that pretty much canceled for like the next 2 years, which really blowed. But JUCO is probably one of the funnest experiences I've ever had. Everybody there is so fun to be around. There's not really, other than like really coaching, it's just a fun experience compared to the 3 years of super competitive and like the D1 and D2 aspects. Mm-hmm. But if you really wanted to go JUCO, it's mainly for like the 2 years, get out and go to a draft or trying to get into D1s. But I haven't really gotten on to really do that yet. But
at least you're enjoying it, and it's in St. Pete, right?
Yeah,
is that where it's at?
It's mainly like in Clearwater. St. Pete's a little farther down south of it, but yeah, it's pretty fun.
You ever do any practice with the Rays or anything?
Dude, that'd be so bad. We are so bad. I think our last 2 years we've been under 500, but at least 10 games or more.
That's interesting. Hey, man, you're killing it though. Coming back from injury is always a big thing, and you're still going through with it. And speaking of the Rays, let's talk about around the league MLB, which the Rays are at the forefront, still the number one team in the MLB. They have been since the first or second week they've been there. Mm-hmm. So pretty incredible.
I think they've been there from the start, honestly.
Yeah.
But the Orioles are catching up. They're only 3.5 games back now. So go Orioles.
Those have got to be like the two best teams in the league, in my opinion, right now.
Right now they are the two best, I think. The Rangers are doing really good. That's another American League team. Braves are doing good, and then Dodgers are good. So there's only 4 teams that have above 30 wins right now. Rays leading it right now with 37.
Watching that Rangers team, I really think they could actually end up winning that division, even though the Astros are starting to heat up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Astros don't have Justin Verlander anymore, so their pitching's not as good, which I think will lead to the Rangers. I think the Rangers will win the division by the end of the year now. Mr. John doesn't think that, though.
The Angels take? Who said that? Was that John, or was it you?
Which Angels take that they're going to be?
That they're going to be in the playoffs.
I think me and John both said we can see them making the playoffs.
I can see them as like the last seed in the wild card.
Yeah, a wild card seed.
Because I still see the Astros and the Rangers making it, and there's going to be 2 or 3 teams out of the AL East.
Yeah. That's hard, actually. Yeah, I could see them.
Because there's no teams coming out of the AL Central. There's
no other than the winner, of course. That division per usual is the worst in the league. And I'm honestly surprised the Twins are leading it right now. I thought the Guardians would be leading that by far.
Yeah, their pitching I thought was just gonna dominate that whole entire division.
Yeah,
but Shane Bieber's just been bad. Well, not bad, but
mid.
below his standard.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the pitch clock?
I really don't like it.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of people saying like it's leading to injury, which I can see why, because it's rushing pitchers to throw. And as a pitcher myself, I work at a fast pace, but I don't want to be having to worry about a pitch clock. I don't have to be worrying about throwing it like at a certain time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's also why I see like a lot of there's like to start the year, a lot of top tier pitchers were doing really bad, and I was like, isn't this weird that they start doing bad when the pitch clock just comes in randomly?
Yeah.
So I think like the pitch clock affects the pitchers a lot more than people think.
Like Manoah and Cease, like why do they have 6 ERAs?
Yeah.
They've been horrific.
Mm-hmm. Then you could say like some of these pitchers, for example, Chris Sale, he's been injured, so that's where like, oh, pitch clock doesn't matter. He's just been injured and he sucks now. Cool. But like those pitchers, they're I think Chris Sale's still mid right now, but he's been picking it up. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens when he faces his division.
Yeah. I'm kind of scared about this division, but the Rays are still doing the best, which is good for y'all Rays fans.
Do you think that because of the pitch clock, it's gonna like skew some of the Cy Young voting?
I think it could.
Yeah, it could, honestly.
I mean, right now, like also Sandy, I know he worked at a fast pace, so I don't think the pitch clock really bothers him that much. But he's also pitching very poorly this year compared to how it was last year for him.
Yeah, he's like, what is it, 5 ERA right now, or is he also
around that, a little bit above it? But he pitched good yesterday against the Rockies, and he pitched good in his outing before that, so it's starting to tick down.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a favorite at the beginning of the season to win Cy Young, like highly favored.
I kind of thought it was a fluke last year.
Really?
Because he throws 8 innings every time he went out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, I mean, it's more susceptible to giving up more runs, but with the stuff he has, it's unreal to watch, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, one of the questions I wanted to ask you today is like your predictions for the winners of each division. So let's start with the East. Who do you think will win the East?
I still think it's going to be the Rays. I think before the season, I really thought the Yankees were just going to do it again, bringing in Rodon.
Yeah.
And not really getting any weaker. But watching how the Rays have been playing, I don't see them losing.
Yeah, and the Yankees have also just been on really iffy this year, back and forth.
They do also have a lot of injuries too, though.
Yeah. But with the next division, it's the AL Central. Who you got winning there?
I think the Guardians will start picking it up. I think their bullpen's too good just to not win that division.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The Twins are also a really good team with Sonny Gray and Pablo Lopez at the 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a good one. I can still see. I see the Twins. It's hard to say because I have a lot of hope in the Guardians because I feel like their pitching is so good. It's just their offense isn't performing as well. But I'm gonna go with the Twins on this one. I think they'll end up going winning the division. But the AL West now, this one's a little bit a tougher one.
Like I said, I think I'm going to stick with the Rangers. If they get DeGrom back, I mean, that pitching rotation is going to be really good.
Yeah, it is.
Their bullpen's not that bad, and the lineup is they're just all hitting.
Yeah, they did really well in offseason. They got Nathan Eovaldi, they got DeGrom, and they got Corey Seager last year. They're making a big push. Yeah, and Simeon. And
probably the best second baseman in baseball.
Right now, yeah, I could see that. And then
it's funny how 4 teams are over 500 and you just have the Athletics in that.
The most horrific team that I've ever seen.
Sitting below 200 right now.
AL West is making a push for one of the best teams in baseball. I saw people saying that they're the best league or best division in baseball. I'm like, no, they're not.
They don't beat the AL East.
Yeah, they don't. You can't beat the AL East when every team is above 500. But do you? How good do you think the A's would be if they moved to Vegas? You think that'll change anything?
No.
Let's move over.
Their management's awful.
Yeah, and their front office just sucks. But we'll move over to NL East here. This is the hardest division, one of the hardest divisions in the NL. I can personally say I kind of think it is the hardest division in the NL.
I could agree with that. NL Central is pretty much just Cardinals Brewers most of the time.
Yeah.
But I do see the Reds making a push in the future to be possibly winning that division.
Yeah.
And then NL West, it's pretty much Dodgers, Padres for the most part. Although the Diamondbacks are picking it up too. Yeah,
they're doing really well. That's a big surprising factor for me. I did not think the Diamondbacks would be above 500 right now.
With how young of a team they have, I was kind of surprised also. But they have Zach Gallen out in front, just leading that pitching rotation. I think he's making everybody better there.
Yeah, and they released Madison Bumgarner for a few weeks ago. He was doing terrible.
I mean, that's great for them.
Yeah.
So bad.
But for the East, who do you got winning? You think the Braves?
Definitely still the Braves.
Yeah.
That team's too good to lose.
I honestly think they can make a World Series this year.
I think so too. Sean Murphy, I mean, what a great pickup they had in the offseason. He's been absolutely raking for a catcher. Yeah,
and Ronald Acuna is in MVP talks right now, saying he could be the first, not the first, but his first MVP award could go this year. He's having a hell of a season.
He could go 50-50, maybe not this year, but soon.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But I'm disappointed in the Phillies. I thought they'd be better. right now.
Well, Trey Turner can hit a fastball.
How different it is from when he was in the World Baseball Classic. And
oh my God! Did you see I saw a stat a few weeks ago that he had more home runs, RBIs, was hitting better in the few games in the WBC than he was in 40 games with the Phillies.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I don't know why he signed. Honestly, I've been to Philly. I don't like Philly. I don't know how these big players are going there. Philly is gross.
I think it's all the Bryce Harper movement. I mean, I think maybe that pulled all of them in, but I can't say.
Yeah. So you got the Braves winning the East. Who do you got the Central? NL Central.
I'm a little bit biased here, but I think the Cardinals are still going to win. But I think it's going to be between them and the Brewers.
Sitting in fourth right now, but it's obviously early in the season. Brewers are – it's baseball, so anything can really switch. They're only 5.5 games back.
Pirates were a huge shock.
Yeah, that was big. And then I was not expecting that at all. I thought they were going to be last, fourth throughout the whole season.
Well, I'm kind of surprised that they're still in
second. They're in second right now. They're only 2 games behind the Brewers too.
I mean, I think that actually is the worst division in baseball behind the AL Central.
NL Central, really? Yeah, actually, I would probably say AL Central is worse.
AL Central is worse, but the NL Central, for the
right
past few years,
them.
It's been just Cardinals, Brewers. Reds, Pirates, and Cubs haven't been doing anything until this offseason and the last year.
Mm-hmm.
They all finally made trades and offseason pickups.
Yeah. Yeah, the final division we have is the NL West. You got the Dodgers?
Probably. Padres have been just playing like shit.
Yeah, they really have. Very disappointing season for them. The Giants are doing better than them. I really thought when they picked up Xander, they were going to be a very, very big contender for the NL.
Well, I don't think Xander's really the problem. He's been playing better than he was last year. I think it's Juan Soto, who's been picking it up a lot better recently, but he started off the year so slow.
Yeah, and he was expected to have MVP season. Like you say, he's picking it up now, but at the beginning, people were like, maybe he's not going to win that MVP season. And he's playing for a contract too, so he needs to start picking it up.
I think no matter what happens this season, though, he's still going to get over $300 million at least.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I can
but
definitely
also
see that
their
happening.
pitching's just been also really bad. Darvish, Musgrove,
Snell.
Mm.
Yeah.
And they don't have much of a bullpen right now.
Yeah, totally agree with that one. But that's all I got for MLB right now. Not a whole lot happening right now.
Not too much, but once All-Star break kind of happens, we'll definitely start picking up with the content here at Against the Call. But for our next segment, we're going to head into Around the League, stick in the baseball realm with NCAA baseball. As I mentioned at the beginning, mainly just conference tournaments are happening right now, figuring out who's going to punch their ticket for, regionals to host and everything like that. So not a lot, but, Dingles, you want to talk about it. If you're a guest on the show, then you get to talk about whatever you want. So,
I mean, I don't want to say I know much about it, but I know a little bit. SEC, I mean, UF's just front runners there. ASUN, FGCU's front runners there, but I can see Jacksonville upsetting them with the offense that they have this year, and how Chris Armstrong's been playing at third base is just a really good team there. ACC, I can't really say much there, but probably Duke
or North Carolina.
Or North Carolina, yeah.
One of those two, in the ACC. And as far as ASUN goes, super good, especially for JU, Aiden Kelly.
Aiden Kelly.
Yeah.
And Barquin.
Yeah, and Barquin.
Blake pitched really good against
Barquin,
FGCU.
if Barquin's watching this, because you send him a link, he owes me 20 in fantasy, and that's noted. And you can unadd me as a friend, whatever you want. It's still noted.
He's still got bookie issues. It's all right. No, but he pitched great against FGCU. He went 5 innings against the best offense in the country. There's no way around it. I think a team that averages 10 runs a game. He went, I think, 5 innings, gave up 2 earned or 4 earned, something like that.
Jeez.
And he gave up a couple home runs, but a couple of them were fluky.
Yeah, and as far as SEC goes, you talk about Florida leading the way. They had a close game last night.
That game was absolutely insane with the walk-off in the 10th.
Yeah, I was very pissed off whenever I heard a text from John say, "Let's go, walk off." I was like, whatever. I don't really care at this point. Tennessee knocked off. I'm not watching the SEC tournament any longer for the rest of the season. Now softball, though, that's another thing. Let's go, softball team. Also, UCF knocked out. I think they're knocked out, or is it double elim at that point? I don't know. Sorry, but do you know about the AAC?
I know that I know USF upset ECU.
Yes.
That was a really big upset, and I know they were beating UCF today. Which, no offense, UCF's kind of playing like shit right now.
Oh no, that's
they are.
They totally are, and I mean I agree. I think we need to move on from Lovelady, especially after everything
the
that's
whole
happened
scandal.
Yeah,
with the cheating with bats.
bats.
No, but I don't think that team's that bad. They're gonna have a
Yeah.
good future. Andrew's gonna be leading it next year, I think, behind the dish.
Now,
McCabe had a great year also.
Now you played with Andrew Sundin, right?
Yeah, I played with him at McKeel. He was my catcher for a couple years. I played summer ball with him. There's nothing bad to say about that kid. He loves baseball.
Yeah.
He just loves the work ethic.
Yeah, you can definitely tell, especially anytime you see him strike out, which isn't that often. He beats himself up, it seems.
He doesn't like before in high school. I definitely know he liked to show his emotions a lot, but it seems like he's gotten it under control since he went to UCF.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lovelady got a hold of him and just pretty much got his emotions in check.
That's good.
But this year, I mean, he had, I think, 16, 17 home runs, strikes out a lot, like half as much as he walks. He's just a great hitter, I think.
Yeah, his first few games coming out, he had like a .74 or something batting average.
I knew that's not Andrew. His dad would chew him out, and his mom probably wouldn't say that much about it because his dad's so hard on him, which I think his dad's probably one of the best mentors that he's had since he started playing baseball.
Man, that's good to know. And I mean, I don't know how much I know you agree with how talented that roster is. I do think Lovelady is the problem. And I think next season they could go further if they have better coaching.
Definitely. Their pitching's good too. I know Jacob, and I've seen Rudy Gomez pitch a couple times. They're great pitchers to start out, and Vespi, I think they're all great pitchers there.
Now for Ben McCabe, is that? I'm sorry. Is
I'm
this
pretty
his
sure
last
he's
season?
in his senior year. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he leads the entire team all time for home runs. I think
he does. Yeah,
I think he did that this season. So.
I mean, he had a great senior year for trying to look for getting drafted.
Yeah, it was insane. So, wishing him the best. As far as the other kind of championships go, don't really have a lot of notes on it. Only been keeping up with really the SEC and whatever Dingles has.
Well, back to the SEC, I forgot about LSU. I mean, Paul Skeens the best pitcher in the country. And and the ACC, I totally forgot about Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
That's that number one ranked team in the country. I mean, they have the best pitching staff in the country also.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I totally forgot about them.
And South Carolina, obviously, they're ranked also. Almost the whole entire SEC that is kind of ranked.
Yeah, but South Carolina's been falling off. I saw something today where they their last 20 or so games, they were 11 and 15 or something like that.
It seems like they fell off after they played LSU, and Ethan Petrie went crazy on one of those games against Paul Skeens. I think he had 2 home runs, he had a grand slam and something like that. But he was playing amazing. He's supposed to win Freshman of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't really know who I really have in the SEC. If I'm gonna root for somebody, I guess give me LSU. But as far as that goes, do you have anything else you want to say about
just the Mountain West? Air Force for Sawyer Hawks.
Oh, yeah. Air Force, man. What position does he play?
He's a pitcher out there. He's mainly been closing for them or doing a longer relief job, and he's been pitching good this year. He doesn't have as many walk issues as much as he did in high school in his first year at the Air Force, but he also went through some elbow issues and pain, and he's figured it all out this year, and he's got everything working for him. And he came back for a wedding for his parents, for his dad who was getting married, and I just talked to him. I was like, dude, just slow it down. Just try and work on just filling up the zone. And ever since then, he's just been pitching really good for them and helping them get a playoff push. And I'm pretty sure they did win the conference to end the year after being somewhere around 4th or 5th place at the Midway mark.
So they won the Mountain West?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. That's pretty incredible. And so are you saying that you're kind of helping his success right now?
No, I don't want to take all the credit. I think it has a lot to do with his dad. His dad's hard ass on him.
Oh wow, yeah. I feel, was your dad ever that way?
No.
No.
My parents didn't really get influenced like that.
Okay.
I mainly just did everything by myself, and all my teammates, they all just kind of helped push me like that. But my mom and dad are all just pretty motivational, saying just do your best. And if you ever just wanted to stop one day, we wouldn't object to it. If anything, we just want to help you pursue your goals and whatever you wanted to do.
W parents.
W parents. Definitely W parents.
Yeah, shout out Dingles parents right there. But yeah, is that it for NCAA baseball?
Yeah, I don't know anything else
me
really.
As sad as it sounds, but we will cover it more whenever the College World Series, really picks up. But as far as that goes, we're gonna head into our next segment. This is gonna be new here, and we're gonna be doing this for a few leagues, and we're gonna have this. We only have 15 pitchers now, and there's 32 NFL teams, so this is gonna be the first player that comes to your head when you see the logo, NFL edition. And so Michael has the pitchers, and he'll show one to like Dingles, one to me, and then we'll just go with whoever comes to our head right off the bat. So Dingles, you can start.
This should be interesting. Will Anderson Jr. I don't know why.
Wait, you say the name of the team whenever you do
The
it.
Texans.
Yeah.
He says Will Anderson Jr.
I see. That's what I'm worried about this. I'm not gonna lie, because if we make clips from this, people are gonna be like, "Dude, you're thinking of everyone recent." It's
Now, if they wanted a flashback guy, Matt Schaub.
Talk about a flashback. Yeah, for
All
sure.
right, Nick, your turn.
All right,
The Dolphins.
Jalen Ramsey.
It's all recent people.
He hasn't even worn the jersey yet.
All right, the next one. The Bucks.
Tom Brady.
That's pretty solid.
The Browns.
Deshaun Watson.
Oh, dude, what a bad guy.
I'm surprised.
Hey, he didn't do it.
All right, the Ravens.
Lamar Jackson.
Okay, that one's the best one so far. Raiders.
I want to say Jimmy Garoppolo.
I mean, it's the first player that came out of your
Yeah,
mouth.
first player that came in my mind is Jimmy Garoppolo. So
The Titans.
Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Will Levis.
Jeez, I think he's going to be a bust.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll get to that in the NFL talk.
49ers.
Man, Brandon Ayuk.
I like that one.
I was so close to saying Brock Purdy.
Eagles.
Jalen Hurts.
Vikings.
Justin Jefferson. Come on.
Packers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Lions.
Oh, first thing that came to my mind was Dan Campbell, but I know he's not a player.
I feel like that could count, though.
Could it?
He's a Lions coach. He kind of runs the whole team.
Yeah, maybe. Just give me Jared Goff, though.
Bengals.
Joe Burrow.
Patriots.
Mac Jones.
How did Tom Brady not come in your head?
Mac Jones is the most unathletic quarterback I've ever seen.
Sorry, man. It was
Him and
first.
the only one that's more athletic is probably Tom Brady, but Mac Jones running is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It's kind of feminine the way he runs.
That's true.
Don't hate my QB.
Him and his gritty.
Also, whenever they put like the guys into girls, like whenever they do that to see who's the hottest,
Oh my god.
he looks like an Alabama sorority girl.
Yeah, definitely that guy.
All right, the last one. Falcons.
Matt Ryan.
That was pretty solid.
Yeah, solid for sure.
Went pretty new, Nick.
I knew I was gonna do it too. Like I didn't want to.
Yeah, a lot of people that just got drafted or just got traded there.
We'll definitely try and do this again as the season actually happens. Maybe we'll do that. But I definitely know that if any old heads, especially on the Facebook, see the reel, they're gonna be commenting like, "Oh, why didn't you pick
Why didn't you pick
Ray Lewis for
why
the
didn't you
Ravens?
pick Dan Marino?
Why do you pick Joe Montana for the 49ers? I don't know, but we'll head into our next segment, the NFL talk. We can already start it off by just talking about the Patriots and how well do you think that they're going to do next season?
I don't like talking about the Patriots because I'm not a big Patriots fan, but they have Mac Jones as their quarterback. That's all I can really say. I mean, Mac Jones, I don't think he's horrible, but he's not good. He's going to be a pretty mid quarterback, and I think they're just going to be somewhere around like 8-8 or 8-9. I think something like that.
So third or fourth in that division.
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
Bills. I think the Bills will still be in first again, and then go Dolphins or the other way around. And who's the third team in that division? I'm thinking Jets. Wow, I forgot about Aaron Rodgers being there now. I just don't see how. I don't know how that Aaron Rodgers is going to do with them. I mean, I know he's going to have Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, and it's going to be a really good like offensive game, and having the best defense back there. I mean, he could also. I think that team could also be first.
Yeah.
Do you see them going far in the playoffs?
If the Jets made it, no, it's Aaron Rodgers. As a Packers fan who's been watching him in the playoffs in the past 10 years, he's failed almost every time, other than the 2011 Super Bowl.
Imagine a Jets 49ers Super Bowl, And Aaron Rodgers loses.
And
to
Aaron
the
Rodgers
49ers
gets
again.
demolished again by the 49ers. I saw a fact the other day. It's like Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre are living the exact same career paths.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Going from winning one Super Bowl at like the same age and then leaving at the same age to the Jets. And I'm like, this guy like Illuminati or something.
I did see in the news actually today the Commanders may have to change their name again because due to someone else having a pending trademark on the name Commanders before them.
Like the Washington Commanders.
Just the name Commanders, and
they can't take Commanders.
Or it might be Washington Commanders. It's something. There's something going on in the legal world with the trademarks, and they might have to change their name again.
They would go through like 4 name changes and still
Going
like
back to the Washington football team.
They should.
They should. I like that name. I got used to it.
It was funny. They should go back. No, I'm not gonna say that.
The Redskins. So what should their new team name be if they have to change it though?
They'll probably go. What was their second place? Like some pig.
They should go with the presidents.
The Washington presidents. That wasn't the names. I'm pretty sure it's the options.
There was another one that was like the Red Wings or something like that.
That's already in hockey though. I don't know if they could do that.
Well, you can do that.
You can probably get,
there's different like
they get slander for it.
I mean, there's the Cardinals and Cardinals.
Never mind. You could do the Red Wings.
What?
There was like the War Hogs or something. It was like one of their options.
That's probably one of the worst options.
The War Hogs?
It was some sort of pig.
Well, that's their mascot now. Is a pig.
Yeah, it was like don't quote me. That's the War Hog. It was something along those lines.
They could just do the Washington Pigs.
All right, it says here Washington's attempt to trademark Commanders gets denied.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Huh. That's funny.
Let me see.
They'll never escape poverty. Other than like what? In the 70s whenever they were good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Early 90s too. Whatever.
Back when they had RG3.
Oh, that was actually a good season. And then he got injured.
It was just the Hogs.
It was what?
It was the Hogs.
Oh, that's what I meant. The Red Tails.
The Red Wolves was up there. The Monuments. The Washington Monuments. That would have been a stupid name in my opinion.
The Washington Warriors. I'll have another Warriors team. That'd be cool.
And then the Americans was another one.
Americans.
But that was like, I saw that like either yesterday or today. I had to add that in.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, other than that, for Dingles, what do you think about the AFC North?
I still think the Bengals just have that division on lock. I mean, I think the Ravens did get a lot better, but with Joe Burrow saying that he had a great season last year, but that's not going to be his best season. It's just, I feel like it has a lot of intimidation factor in the AFC North and the whole entire NFL.
Do you see the Pittsburgh Steelers still being 500?
Yeah, I can definitely still see it. They have Mike Tomlin. That guy hasn't had a losing season yet.
Yeah.
And I think Kenny Pickett will develop into a better quarterback this year. And he was sort of mid last year. He wasn't great, but he wasn't horrible.
They didn't have the best O-line.
His O-line was pretty bad too, yeah.
So I got to ask this question to both of you guys. Could you see the AFC North being one of the best divisions? I mean, obviously the AFC South or East is the best division right now, but AFC North, you got Joe Burrow and the Bengals, obviously. You got the Baltimore Ravens, who, like you just said, upgraded a ton. Also got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, like you said, again, it's hard to not be under 500 with Mike Tomlin. And then also a full offseason of Deshaun Watson on the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, AFC North could definitely be the best division in the AFC or even the NFL. All those quarterbacks are really good quarterbacks. Don't get me wrong, Deshaun Watson hasn't played like his usual self in over a year and a half. But I feel like he could go back to where he was in his prime form this year. Mm-hmm. And then having Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Kenny Pickett, I think with Lamar Jackson actually not throwing to Rashad Bateman could be a huge upgrade and throwing it to Odell instead. And I can't remember the wide receiver they drafted this year.
Zay Flowers.
Yeah. He's going to be a huge target for Lamar, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's very speedy, very shifty.
And I think the Steelers, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Go ahead.
I think the Steelers also had the best draft classes this year.
Really the best?
I think so. They filled in a lot of holes with the picks they had.
Yeah, they did make that O-line better for Kenny Pickett this offseason, which is going to be a big factor. And I do think they can be over 500 again. And like he said, it's Mike Tomlin. He's not going to have a year under it. So
I mean, unless they literally sold everybody on the team.
yeah, unless they're attempting to tank for someone, but I don't see that happening.
I don't see them taking either.
Yeah, but I do think they will be they could be the best division in football this year. They definitely have all the teams for it. Each of these teams could make the playoffs, in my opinion. Do I think the Browns are going to be better? I do. I think Deshaun Watson will be better this year with the full offseason, training with the team, because when he wasn't at the beginning, he couldn't like practice the team for a little bit, and then he was able to practice.
Was it in like 8 weeks or something like that?
Yeah, 8 weeks he can start practicing with them.
Yeah, and then he had to play like week 12. And then after that point, like those first 3 games, he threw like a pick or 2 every game. I think the first game he didn't even have a touchdown.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, so
I think it was good for him to also get back to like game experience to get it like a real feel of a real game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and with that, AFC South, probably the worst division in the entire.
There's also
league.
the NFC South.
Yeah, one of the South are the worst.
They're definitely really bad, but I think it's the Jaguars definitely. Trevor Lawrence could be even better this year, and he's going to get Calvin Ridley back. Mm-hmm. And the wide receiver core there is just going to be too good. And they're going to have Evan Ingram, who's going to be, I think, even better than last year also. But Colts, they have Will Levis. He's not going to do anything for them. Titans, they're pretty much tanking team. But the Texans, I think, could definitely be a sleeper for possibly winning the division. But I still think their team's just too young.
Mm-hmm.
So Will Levis, you probably just messed it up, but Will Levis is on the Titans. Do you see? I mean, obviously
the Colts had Richardson. My bad.
Yeah. How do you see the Colts doing though with Richardson?
I think he's just gonna need time to develop. I can see them making like a end game put, like an end season push, but I don't see them starting out too hot with Richardson. Depending on if he starts out like how he's been playing at UF, I mean, by all means they could win the division, but I just don't see it happening yet.
Do you think he should sit behind? They should let Gardner Minshew start at least the first couple games this season.
Yeah, I think that he should just learn under Gardner Minshew for a little bit, and then if say Gardner Minshew is doing good, then I don't think they should switch him out. But say like Gardner Minshew just does something that's not Gardner Minshew like, because he's the GOAT, but they put in Anthony Richardson and just let him go out and just ball out and just try what he does.
Yeah. You did mention before if Anthony Richardson has a season like he did last season, he'll do good. And I'd hope not, because he was 6-6 last year. And honestly, he wasn't that great with the Gators.
No, well, I don't really pay attention to college football that much, but I know that Anthony Richardson is a freak of an athlete, being like 6'6", 250, and running like a 4.4, which I think is probably one of the most freakish athletes I've ever heard of. It's almost like a taller like Deion Sanders.
Almost, yeah. And obviously he's being compared to Lamar Jackson just for his speed, availability of throwing the ball and stuff like that.
I mean, I was watching his combine and he flicked it like 70 yards. Yeah. And I know Lamar can't do that, and I know he's not as fast as Lamar, but I think he's also going to be able to hold on to the ball if they wanted to run like read option scrambles and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if we're comparing it though, Will Levis, he sat on his knees and threw like 60 yards.
That is true, but Will Levis is also like an idiot.
Puts mayonnaise in his coffee. Like
who does that, bro? That shit is disgusting. I don't even like mayonnaise on most sandwiches. Puts it in his coffee.
What does that bring to coffee? That's my question.
I know. I've always kind of wanted to try it. Like
is that like his kind of creamer or?
Yeah, it has to be, because I don't see him putting anything else in it.
I think he does like black coffee with mayonnaise, and that's just got to be disgusting. I just can't get that over me.
What about the banana peel? Eating the banana with the peel on?
I heard it's actually healthy for you.
I've actually heard of like people actually eating, but I've never heard mayonnaise in coffee, because I've seen banana peel because it's healthier.
Yeah, but have you seen an NFL quarterback video himself shirtless eating one?
No, like that's kind of weird. That's weird. That's what I'm saying. Like he's an idiot, like for posting that to where everybody's just kind of like, it kind of like ruins your image if people don't like it.
He really was showing his true self, and everybody was like, I don't really like that. I think he's gonna be a bust after that.
But the South, it's gonna be all, if Will Levis ends up starting, it's gonna be literally all young quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which will be really interesting to see. How do you think CJ Stroud will do?
I honestly don't know. I think wasn't he the one that got the worst score on his on the
IQ?
Yeah, he's pretty dumb.
I mean, I don't really know anything about that test that much, but I think he'll still be good. I think he can lead him to I want to say like 6-10, 6-11.
Hmm.
Definitely better than what they were last year. Maybe 7-10.
Yeah, I think that also comes in part with Will Anderson Jr. joining their defense
And having their new head coach, D'Amico Ryans, could be a huge upgrade too.
Yeah, that was a really good signing in my opinion with D'Amico Ryans, which could make CJ Stroud into a very good quarterback.
I've seen that D'Amico Ryans is already changing the culture there. Like, I heard that a lot of the guys are more fired up than ever, especially after last season, having 3 wins.
Well, watching D'Amico Ryans on the sideline when he was with the 49ers, it seemed like everybody just wanted to go out and just ball on everybody. Mm-hmm. It seemed like everyone on that D-line just wanted to rip off the quarterback's head. He had just had everybody fired up over there.
Yeah, that's true.
And just taking that to the Texans, I mean, I think this team could be in the playoffs in the next year or two.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Very possibly, especially next year if they draft well. And, I mean, this division, it's put in the perfect spot for them.
Yeah, definitely to win a division. Just try and get some playoff experience for the young guys.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, the next division will be the AFC West. I think we all already know who's winning this one.
Definitely the Chiefs.
Yeah. There's no real question about that. I mean, the Chargers could put up a little fight. I don't really see it happening.
Their half their players will get injured, and then they'll just fall apart.
I also didn't really like how much they drafted. I don't like them picking an offensive guy in the first round again.
Yeah, I feel like they should have went more.
I think they have like 7 receivers now that are just all like too good to be like 6-string receivers. But I mean, Keenan Allen and Tyrell Williams are still going to be really good. And then who's the guy that was their slot? Carter.
Was it or was it Mike Williams?
Or yeah, Mike Williams, not Tyrell Williams.
It was. Well, Quentin Johnson they just got in the draft.
Yeah,
and
who's a very good wide receiver.
I just don't know if he's going to start over Mike Williams. If one of them get hurt, which is probably going to happen, I can see him going right in as a 1 or 2.
Yeah,
just because of how tall he is and how good he's going to be at receiver on the outside.
Well, I don't think I'm drafting Keenan Allen again in fantasy.
No, that was crazy that you picked Keenan Allen. I was thinking about it whenever this year. Yeah, you did.
Dude, I came in 2 McKeel leagues this year and won both of them.
Nah, I just wasn't playing.
Jake for sure was.
Oh my God, me and Connor were so pissed at how Jake was managing that league. I mean, you saw it in the group chat. We were so pissed that he did the money for the free agency. That was one thing we fucking hated, dude. It was so bad. I'm sorry if I'm cussing. I don't know if it's allowed or not. All right.
No, it's fine.
But we were so pissed at Jake, and we were like ripping into him. And I was just like, if we do a football league again, it cannot be Jake managing it.
Yeah, I didn't like that money because I was in that. My team sucks. Just saying that, putting that out there. But I did not like the money system in free agency.
If I ever saw a player, I was like, nobody's gonna go after this guy. I'd put $1.
Yeah, like I like the waiver order. Like, whoever puts it in moves down to the bottom. Compared to like people who just haven't picked up anybody. If they wanted to get someone that like busted out 1 week, they can get it if they're first in the line.
Yeah, and also like if a player got hurt last minute, you can't just go and pick someone up real quick to just replace them. You have to wait a whole day. Also,
you could just drop hundreds and then nobody goes for that person, so you waste like all your money on one guy.
That's just why I don't think Jake should ever be allowed to manage again. He's managing a baseball league, and I have like $5 in it, but it's actually still stupid. Everybody hates the money rule.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and we told him to like 15 times before the league started, change it to the waivers, not money. Didn't do it. Just didn't do it.
I don't know if you just realized that, Mike, but I wasn't invited to that. They didn't want me to win that either.
It was kind of last minute.
I'm just messing around. But let's move into the next division for Dingles. NFC East, which was the best division last year. Do you see them being the best division again this next season?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see any teams that got worse. The Giants, I mean, questionable extending Danny Dimes, but giving him that much money. But Eagles, I mean, what a draft they had in the first round, regardless of who else they picked. Getting, what's his name?
Jalen Carter.
Mm-hmm. Jalen Carter at pick, what is it, like 12?
Picked 12. Yeah.
And then the guy that got later from Alabama also, or Georgia, I meant.
Yeah. I forgot his name.
I've already forgot a bunch of people's names, man. Don't even try. But I'll tell you right now, We had a clip where I basically was reminding of another clip we had with like our way too early Super Bowl winners, and I was like, yeah, I got Eagles going back to the Super Bowl, blah blah blah. We had a person comment that was stupid. It's very hard to go back to the Super Bowl. And then today, ESPN released the best chances of winning the Super Bowl, and the Eagles had a 14% chance of winning the Super Bowl, the highest out of everyone. Chiefs had 13.
I mean, I can see that they lost some players, but they just gained them right back in either the draft or free agency.
Yeah, I mean,
Nolan Smith was the guy I was trying to think of.
Oh yeah,
he's replacing TJ Edwards, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, they just keep getting better. That team just can't lose with Howie at the helm.
It's so funny how they lose Miles Sanders to the Panthers and then immediately just get DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift's also just not a good running back in my opinion, but I mean, it's still great to have him as a second or third.
He is. I think
he's good. It's just that he's too injury prone, in my opinion, with last season.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to the Lions that much, other than the fact that they were going to upset the Packers again this year. But, I think that team could win the division this year, but I just didn't think that DeAndre Swift was good enough on that team for like how they played. Because a lot of the time they didn't really run the ball that much in the field, and they just kind of punched it in with Jamal Williams in the end zone when they were in the red zone. I meant.
And I mean, that's another reason why he didn't do that great is because they were running Jamal Williams a lot compared to him. I mean, especially with injury, and then they had who was the guy that they had over DeAndre Swift? He was second running back. I already forgot.
Wait, what?
Whenever DeAndre Swift
Didn't
was
they have a
injured,
young running back last year?
Yeah, they had another guy who was actually pretty solid.
And they're going to have Jahmyr Gibbs this year.
Yeah, which that does fill a gap.
I can see him being one, just having more run availability for them in the open field and still punching it in with Jamal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also have David Montgomery as their second.
Yeah.
Which is a very good running back as well.
Jamar Gibbs, in my opinion, is the best running back in this draft.
Definitely.
I think he's better than Bijan. We've had other guests in the past say that same thing, and it's true. Just watching him at Alabama compared to Bijan at Texas, you just see completely two kind of different players. Jahmyr Gibbs, to me, at least on TV, I haven't really looked into his actual attributes. He's a way bigger guy than Bijan. Both are big guys, obviously, but
he's not built like Henry, obviously, but he's still pretty a thick guy.
Yeah, compared to Mark Ingram on Alabama,
he's a freak, dude. and he's old, but dude, he's a tank.
So it's very different there. And you're a Packers fan, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So next division is gonna be NFC North, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say about just the Packers next season. Jordan Love.
I don't really think Jordan Love's going to do that bad. I mean, a lot of people kind of want to bash on him, but I think he's going to take the Packers to the same record they had last year. I don't think he's going to do much better than that. If he does, I mean, that's a win. But if he throws for 3,500 yards, 4,000 yards, I mean, that'd be great. And just trying to keep his touchdown interceptions just moderate, not too high. Because it's his first year as an actual starter, but I don't see him doing that bad.
So where do you see them in the division?
Third.
Who do you see last in this division?
Bears still.
Bears again?
I think the Packers still just overrule the Bears, even without Aaron Rodgers.
They still own them?
Yep. Jordan Love's going to start his trend.
He's got to carry on Rodgers.
But I think the Lions are going to win it this year with how much better their team's gotten and having Dan Campbell. I mean, I think everybody in that locker room would die for that man.
That is very true. Man, I would love it if the Lions won this division, actually.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for them. I really like the Lions.
Yeah. Never count on the Vikings, though.
Jay Jett is just a freak. Yeah, Jay Jett is in that Dalvin Cook.
I forgot the stats, but, the noon games, I think they have less noon games this year than last year, so that could be their issue.
A recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Kirk Primetime's falling apart.
The noon nightmare.
The Lions will definitely win the division now that they have less noon games. But, at least hopefully. But the next division, the worst in the NFL, coming up, NFC South. Who do you got winning this division?
Call me crazy, but I think the Falcons could win this division. Call me crazy.
Why?
I don't know. I just got a gut feeling on it,
he has
to be
that
honest.
Feeling. It's like John's tingle. What you called it?
John's speaking to me. But if you want something that's more realistic, I think it would be the Panthers, just because the Bucs are throwing in, I think, with Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. And then the Saints are throwing interception Jameis Winston. And
they got Derek Carr.
Yeah, Derek Carr.
Oh, Derek Carr is still not that good in my opinion. But I didn't really think Derek Carr's a bad quarterback, but he's still going to throw 30 touchdowns and probably like 20 interceptions.
20? I'm seeing maybe 15.
A lot of interceptions still.
It still is, but for this division,
I mean, yeah. I think the teams in this division also have great defenses.
And Michael Thomas got hurt again, so he might be out for the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what's up with Alvin Kamara? Is he still doing court cases?
I have no idea what. Like, it just went silent. I haven't seen anything about it.
I haven't heard a single thing. It's like he went off the grid or something.
I
I
haven't heard anything about him.
The Saints still have Chris Olave, who had a good year last year, and they have underrated Jawan Johnson. I thought he was a good tight end for them last year.
Yeah, Chris Olave is really good. He's definitely their number one, even if Michael Thomas comes back, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he arguably, I think he faced a little injury last season. He arguably could have won Offensive Rookie of the Year last season
if Garrett Wilson wasn't in the same class. But
yeah, exactly. So then, lastly, what used to be one of the best divisions has slowly declined. The NFC West. Who do you have winning this one?
I think it's still the 49ers, definitely. But I do see the Seahawks giving them a run for their money. But Rams and Cardinals just stand no chance. I think they could be even worse than last year, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, do you see the Cardinals having the first overall pick next year?
I can definitely see that. I don't know maybe the other team that could be a first overall pick is the Bucks. I hate if anybody's a Bucks fan in here, but they're really bad. Sorry.
Yeah, we know. But yeah, for sure. They basically said it'd be either Cardinals, Bucks, or Commanders. That's who we all think. Just despite a trade happening.
To be honest, I don't think Sam Howell's going to do that bad for them this year.
Really?
For the few games that he played last year, he didn't look that bad.
Yeah,
he had a lot of bad passes and a few bad interceptions, but
in preseason looked really well.
He didn't look that bad at that last year at all.
Mm-hmm. He could be good. I just don't trust it yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. But with the 49ers, I mean, I don't know where they're getting money from and where they signed Javon Hargrave, but I mean that defense is just. It's almost looking as good as the 2000 Ravens defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you can't get anything through them.
It could be on that level.
Yeah, and they put Trey Lance in the best position possible, giving Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk.
To talk about that too, who's going to start for them? Is it you think it's going to be Trey Lance?
Well,
or Brock Purdy?
Purdy's out probably for the year.
Oh yeah, he's got TJ.
If I'm being honest, I'm gonna say this. I think week 1, Sam Darnold's gonna start.
I could see that because
I could kind of see that.
He's coming back from an ACL tear, right?
Some sort of.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
It's a bad knee injury.
Yeah, Trey Lance had a torn ACL. Yeah,
but I mean, Sam Darnold, he
sees ghosts.
He played all right. What?
He just sees ghosts.
Oh. That and he gets mono all the time. I had him in fantasy that year, and it was literally on the thing. It's out with mono for 2 weeks.
That's a problem if you're picking Sam Darnold in your fantasy league.
That was a bad year.
I mean, he can do good. He has the best, like I said, the best possible options around him.
Exactly. Sam Darnold could be actually really good, just like Brock Purdy miraculously was good. I mean, you got Kyle Shanahan, who leads one of the best offenses in the league and has the best offensive players for any quarterback.
Kyle Shanahan's just a really good coach, too.
They really do have top 5 everywhere between D-line, secondaries, offensive line, core offensive players.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the quarterback's a little it's been like that for years now with going from Jimmy G to Trey Lance, trying to put your trust in him, and he tears his ACL, unfortunately, very soon in the season. And then going to Brock Purdy, who, don't get me wrong, I thought he was the best quarterback in the NFC for the time he played, even though his sample size was really small for how much he actually did pass.
Yeah. And they've, even with hard QB issues, they still make it far in the playoffs, making Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo, people don't see him as a star-study quarterback. All they need is just a quarterback that can make accurate passes.
He's just a guy that I guess gets the win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that's flashy at all.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that smile. But yeah, man, the 49ers, people give a lot of hate to Jimmy G for just absolutely no reason. I mean, you put up his stats amongst other quarterbacks. You could do that thing where it's blacked out 2 people, and then people will be you have all the stats, and you pick Jimmy G. without realizing it's Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's like a solid system QB.
I kind of wish he was on the Packers this year, trying to like teach Jordan Love again. First, I don't know why, but I kind of wish Jimmy G was just leading, like, because I really think the Packers have good defense, like one of the best defenses in the NFL. But it's just too young on the offensive side, other than the O line.
Mm-hmm.
Having Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and just everybody else on that team is just too young, I think, for them to do anything this year.
Yeah,
it really is, and I won't be surprised if the Bears sneak over the Packers. It's possible.
I mean, I'm not saying it won't happen, but I just don't think the Bears I just think Justin Fields is running everywhere isn't going to do him anything.
Like a few games, yeah, and then it's going to come to bite him when he plays
real defenses. Yeah. Like he did really good against the Eagles last year, but like I just don't think they're going to pick up on it eventually.
Yeah, they most definitely will. But other than that, that's going to do it. Do you have anything else for NFL
everything.
talk? All right, perfect. Let's move on. We have our Mount Rushmore, the best college football head coaches ever. Mount Rushmore, you're picking 4. You don't know specific order, Dingles.
I also don't know much college football coaches, but I'll figure it out.
If you don't want to do it, it's totally fine.
The only college coaches I really know is the only coach I really do know is Jimbo Fisher.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. Marshall, he was on here. He didn't do one, so it's fine. Michael, give us your Mount Rushmore, the best college football head coaches.
My first one I'm going, I might get hate for this one, but I don't care. Dabo Sweeney, he's young in the head coaching world. But when I did my research, he was on one of the lists, so I put him in there because I want to have a younger QB. What
list were you looking at?
I was looking at top head coaches.
I looked at Bleacher Report. I didn't
look at Bleacher Report.
I looked at something else. He was nowhere near.
Oh, I've looked at 3. He was on all 3 of them.
I can give 2 for my Mount Rushmore. I'll also include Saban.
Yeah,
of course.
But he has 2 national championships, 7 ACC championships, and a 151-36 career record, over 800 winning percentage, and he's still going to be Clemson's head coach for a long time. I mean, he has a lot of accolades with him.
Who knows?
But my next one I have.
Who knows if he'll be there for a long time? He was already on hot seat last year, and that's crazy because he had a freshman quarterback for most of it. I think he's dealing with DJ Ugalele. However you say it.
But my next one I have Knute Rockne. I think his name is Knute Rockne.
Yeah.
102, 12-1 record. Rockne owns the highest winning percentage for a head coach in college football history with an 881 winning percentage. He has between 3 to 5 national championships as the Irish head coach, depending on who you're talking to, because he was one of the older coaches. Yeah. So our next one, I have Paul the Bear Bryant. He coached at Alabama, Maryland, Kentucky, and Texas A&M. He has won 6 national championships and 13 SEC titles. Bryant's 323 wins rank 4th amongst head coaches who presided over major college programs. And my last one is obviously Nick Saban. He revitalized Alabama's program, taking over the Crimson Tide's head coach in 2007, winning 6 national championships and a total of 7 national titles. He's the only coach to win a national title with 2 schools when he won in 2003 with LSU. And then my honorable mention is Gus Malzahn.
Yeah, that's good. You had to throw that in there. I like that. All right, for mine, honorable mention, Bobby Bowden, one of the greatest FSU head coaches ever, other than Jimbo Fisher. Bobby Bowden's more known for FSU than Jimbo, in my opinion. If you're talking like some old heads, they're gonna definitely name you him, and he deserves it. But for me, on my Mount Rushmore, Robert Nealon. And I have him not only because I'm wearing Tennessee stuff, but because he actually was one of the greatest head coaches in college football. He had 6 undefeated seasons, 9 undefeated regular seasons. He also had 7 conference championships and 4 national championships during his time. And he also had 173 wins out of his 216 games. Absolutely incredible. That's why the stadium is named after him. Obviously a GOAT. After that, I got Joe Paterno from Penn State. He is the most victorious head coach ever with 406 wins, 136 losses, and 3 ties. He also led his program to 2 national championships in 82 and 86 and had 5 undefeated seasons and 37 career bowl games. Absolutely insane. After that, as you said, Bear Bryant, he was basically other than Notre Dame in the past, he was a guy that made dynasties a real thing outside of Notre Dame, and also schools like Harvard and Yale whenever they were good and all that. That was way back when. But Bear Bryant, he did it. His first coaching gig was at Maryland. He then went to Kentucky, then Texas A&M, and then finally ended up at Alabama with 6 national titles and 13 SEC championships. Absolutely insane. And then you got his successor, which is the best college football head coach ever to live, Nick Saban. He started his career at Toledo and brought them to a 9-2 record, which was unheard of at the time for them. They had like 6 wins the season before. Then he went to Michigan State, had a 34-24 record. Then he went over to LSU, and that's where he started becoming great. He had a 48-16 record from 2000 to 2004, and also had the national championship during that time. And then obviously Alabama, 2007 to the present, a 151-23 record. I don't know when that's last been updated. Sorry about that. But also 9 SEC West titles, 8 SEC championships, and 6 national titles. And he's still going. Like, he's 70-something years old, and he's still out there teaching his kids, like,
still chewing into all of them.
Yeah, still chewing into
seeing those videos.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
I just saw recently he was golfing with one of his D linemen, and he was teaching him how to golf.
Oh my god, that was the worst swing I think I've seen from a football player.
Like, my little sister, when we go to Top Golf, she golfs better than what that player was.
It's one of the new like freshmen that are coming in it. Yeah. I was actually laughing really hard at how bad his swing was. And I'm no good at golf either, but that was just bad.
Yeah, exactly. I think all 3 of us here could have had a better swing than that. We would have at least not shanked. Or it wasn't even shanked. It was topped.
Topped about, about 5 yards in front of him, something like that, yeah.
But props to him. He could definitely just tackle us anytime
props
he wanted.
To him. He could definitely beat all of our asses, probably.
But let's move on from that segment. We'll have our NBA talk. We talked a lot about it in the last episode when we had Jonathan on, but we like to hear Dingles' opinions on what is going on in the NBA. And you got to note this, Michael's a big Boston guy, so feel free to say whatever you want.
I mean, I don't want to say this to your face, but I'm going to. Boston is fraud. I mean, they played great last night or the night before, but it's just too late for them, I think. I hate to see it because this team is just really good for how they played against Miami, who has Michael Jordan on their team.
On top of that, a lot of people, I love the memes. Like, I love NBA memes specifically, and it's just like the Pat Bev video, him throwing the jersey off. That's the Celtics after going down 3-1 winning. And then on top of that, they're just delaying their vacation, man. Why delay your vacation?
Dog. Shouldn't have let us win game 4. Shouldn't have let us win game 4.
Oh, my gosh. I don't think a lot of Boston fans have heard of a gentleman's sweep, but it could very well happen tonight as we're recording this.
That's why I'm going to stay quiet right now because I don't want to say something that...
It'll happen in a few hours. It's all right.
I think Jimmy Butler just wanted to do it in TD Garden.
You think that's it? I definitely think that's why.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to wrap it up at home.
Yeah, exactly.
What player would not want that to wrap it up at home?
Because he's a villain.
He wants to put it in.
He's a dream.
TD Garden. He wants Al Horford to know what happened. He wants Marcus Smart to know what happened.
Yeah,
he wants them to feel awful about how bad they played.
Like, for this kind of like underrated Miami team, this Celtics team, for being how they are, down 3-1, they are still so cocky. And it kind of pisses me off to like see them still so cocky. And Marcus Smart throwing punches at Gabe Vincent. He got lucky that didn't hit, or else he would have been ejected for a game or 2. But yeah, and the commentators, they were like, I guess if you are bad at punching, you don't get ejected or anything. You don't get any fouls, nothing like that. But if you do land that punch, it's over. So yeah, props to Marcus Smart for not being able to throw a punch.
You just wanted to scare him.
Yeah, I think he's scared of Marcus Smart. But on the West side, I think the Nuggets, I think they're going to win the finals. I mean, unless Jimmy Butler drops 40 a game, I don't see how the Nuggets are going to lose.
Yeah, I definitely see that. And I've been saying this since the very beginning of the NBA season. I said I see a team in the West winning. And they very well could. I think this could be Jokic's first ring. And I say that whether the Celtics or Heat go, just by the way that the Nuggets have been playing, the miraculous shots that Jokic has hit.
I mean, that he's just been the best player in the NBA, hands down. And then all the players that are around him just doing their jobs. Jamal Murray, no pass, Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. has been playing like a madman. Like,
I mean, he just sinks everything. That dude's unreal. With how good he shoots. And KCP off the bench most of the time. He's also been really good. But it's just Jokic averaging triple-double. That's just really what it comes down to.
Think he should have won MVP?
Yeah, definitely think he should have won another one. I mean, don't get me wrong, Joel Embiid had a great season, but I think Jokic should have won it again.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
And
sorry.
No, it's fine. With that, the Lakers and Nuggets, we didn't even get to talk about this on a show yet, but this is perfect for Dingles being here. LeBron has talked, he's hinted at retirement. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that.
I don't think he's going to retire, but the way he was talking, it seems like he's definitely going to think about it, like hard. But if he doesn't retire, I think he plays 2 more years at least, because I don't know why he would just retire right before Bronny could come up. Because what I told Nick, I told him I think that him and Bronny both end up on the Cavs for Bron's last year and Bronny starting his career.
Really, Cavs?
Yeah.
Think the Cavs are going to be able to get him?
If, say, he enters draft early and maybe he just wants to just try and get in the NBA as quick as he can, I can see him being in like the mid-round, depending on how good he plays. But if he's obviously like plays like really good, he won't go to the Cavs. He'll go somewhere else because the Cavs aren't going to be that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be a dream storyline because honestly, that team would win a finals. Adding LeBron and then Bronny, who will be decent at least. You know, his dad is LeBron James. I mean, I know you can't be saying much. We saw Michael Jordan's son, how that turned out. But I think Bronny, and I've seen his tape. I mean, it's very, very solid. I don't know how well he's going to do at USC, but we'll see.
Michael Jordan's son's Jimmy Butler, though. So I love that theory that Jimmy Butler's his son, which it makes sense though.
It does.
That the time that he was impregnated Jimmy Butler's mom is whenever he was visiting in Texas, I think, something like that. And he just so happened to be born like 9 months after whenever they were playing Houston. That's why I just thought like
he never knew his dad.
He never knew his dad because he wanted to hide like his identity to like protect his name. So like it just makes a lot of sense, but obviously it's very like up in the air.
Yeah.
We need to have like a whole conspiracy segment on that in the future.
Sports conspiracies.
Yeah, but I will tell you now about LeBron though. If he does decide retirement, he did mention like he's laying off a little bit on his approach of playing with Bronny. He's basically said that like Bronny, it's more of his dream than his son's. Mm-hmm. So if he retires, then it won't really affect Bronny, and if he stays, then maybe because that's another thing too. It's always a possibility. Like Bron may not even play with Bronny. Like it's talked about, and it could probably happen because he's basically the GM.
But he is the GM.
But it's not confirmed. Like it's not set in stone that it can happen. Anything can happen. Like it would have to be specific trades. Maybe people aren't happy about it. I think that Adam Silver would let it happen as much as possible because it would help his ratings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Bronny could get like forced into trying to get into the NBA sooner if LeBron decides to stay into the NBA because he wants to play with his dad. I could see him just trying to get out of USC first year no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, and that's what worries me because for Bronny, I don't think that it'll be like a great development. I think that when he's doing his first year there, he could average like 12 points. We don't know.
He could be coming off the bench.
Yeah, exactly. I think he will for most of the games at the beginning. He will be coming off the bench, and then that's why maybe he doesn't go first. Like maybe he doesn't because you're getting LeBron. Yeah, you're getting Bronny and all that, but it's for a year. Why do that when you can draft like a younger, better player that would last you for a few years at least?
Mm-hmm.
It could just all be for the media. Like you have to think about it from your standpoint. Do you really want to do this for the media, or do you want to do it for your career? Do you think you're developed enough to go play in the NBA right now, or do you want to stay here for another year or two and just try and develop and get better so you can be the first overall pick, say if Bronny wanted to be?
Yeah, exactly. And with that, it's like he could be coming off the bench with like 6 points a game and still go first round of the draft.
All because of his name. All because of his name. And that's a lot like a weird thing in baseball too. With Gary Sheffield's sons, he has a son at Georgetown, and he has another son going to FSU. The guy, Gary, what's his kid's name? I think it's Jaden. I think he's going to FSU. That kid's really good. He has just like Gary Sheffield's swing. It's the same thing. But the kid at Georgetown, it's just because of his dad's name that he's there. Like the kid's, he's not that good of a player. I played against him. I don't even know what I would say about him. I don't know what level he could play at. But I don't think he could play at Georgetown. I don't know if he does. I don't think he plays that much there anyway.
Yeah, the name carries a lot. Like, it really does. And when picking like USC, it doesn't surprise me, but we had like Marshall on the show, and I mean, he's right. You're going to a football school. You're going to a school that's not known at all for. I can't even name you a single basketball player that came out of USC off the top of my head.
Okay, neither.
And then on top of that, you know, you choosing that over all the blue blood schools that you go that are basically NBA development programs.
He definitely had other offers to like bigger school or basketball schools, I guess.
Yeah. Like he kind of dwindled down his like 3 to Ohio State, USC, and Oregon, and none of those are really great. I mean,
Ohio State's really bad at basketball in my opinion. But Oregon, that makes a little bit more sense also. But
Oregon's had great players.
I just don't think he should be going there if he really wanted to get better at basketball.
Yeah, it's more of being close to his dad.
I think that's could be part of it. But
their stadium's like 13 minutes away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
great for USC. They're getting Bronny, but I don't know if he's going to really get any better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but we'll jump into our next segment, which is going to be NHL talk. Dingles has been keeping up with NHL lately, I hear.
Yeah, I've been watching it a lot for the past year. A lot of gambling's been going into it, part of it, but I do. Braden and Trey got me into it a lot, and I really enjoyed watching it. And I think the Carolina Panthers, the Florida Panthers, I think they definitely could win it all, from sweeping Carolina, who absolutely just stomped on Islanders, and on top of the Devils, who have a younger team and had also injuries, but sweeping them or winning gentleman's sweep, that is kind of crazy to me for how good that Devils team was with Jack Hughes.
Yeah, and it's so funny seeing like all the Carolina players every game just be pissed.
Yeah,
like they're breaking sticks.
They can't do anything against Matthew Tkachuk and Sergei Bobrovsky. They're just, that team is just, or those two players are just carrying that team hard right now. And don't get me wrong, Brandon Montour has been great defensively, and Duclair has been a great role player on the second and third lines. And then I'm trying to think of the guys, the Stahl brothers. They've been great in the third lines also. But I mean, that Panthers team, they're just playing too good, I think, to where it's like theirs to lose almost, as the biggest underdogs in the whole entire playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, beat the Bruins, one of the best regular season teams to ever play.
It's the best regular season team in my opinion, because they had the best record, most points. There wasn't a flaw with that team. They had the best power play unit, best PK unit. They couldn't lose. It doesn't matter who they played. I think they lost 4 games at home this year, something crazy like that.
It was 4 or 5.
And then the fact that they lost when they were up 3-1 is just, I think that shocked everybody.
Yeah, it really did. And
why do you keep looking at me?
Because you're a Bruins fan. Why else would I be looking at you? I'm trying to hear what you have to say.
They just choked. Nothing more I can say. They choked.
I know they started Lyon game 1, and he was just getting destroyed by Boston, and then they switched to Bob. I think it was either game 2 or game 3, and I just don't think a goalie has been playing better this whole entire Stanley Cup.
Yeah, and I want the Panthers to win, because I'd rather the Bruins lose to the team that wins it all than a team that just lost in the second round or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what every fan wishes for.
Also, as a Florida team and the big underdogs, it'd be kind of cool to see them win.
Not only that, but it is awesome to see them just in the Stanley Cup, because it just pisses off Canadians. So much.
And they've never been there either. That's what's also funny.
No, they've been once.
They went back in like late 90s. I think.
Yeah. They lost to the Avalanche.
But the series they just played, that's their first sweep in the NHL ever, and it just happened to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I thought is crazy to me.
Against a team that was kind of favored almost to win the Eastern Conference, other than the Bruins.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's incredible. And coming from a Lightning fan, you got to let little bro have some fun out there.
What a disappointing team.
Yeah, I know.
They were so disappointing.
Do you root for the Lightning?
Yeah. They were so disappointing in the second half of the year.
Yeah.
Ever since that All-Star game, I mean, Vasilevsky didn't look the same. The whole entire team just kind of played with a little less pace in their step. And then they got to the playoffs, and they played really great in the first opening game. But after that, they just kind of looked like they were – Vasily just looked like he was a little slow behind all the movement that was going on in front of the net.
Yeah, it didn't look like the Vazzy that we usually see in the playoffs at all. I mean, especially how many overtimes? Like 3 overtime losses.
All of them at home, too.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's scripted, but the Maple Leafs haven't won a series in however many years it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vasi, I mean, he was getting a lot of congestion in front of the net too, which could lead, and they had a lot of deflection goals, which could have led to them being like just down almost all the time.
Yeah, and also, I'm kind of happy that the Lightning did lose first round, so we didn't have to play the Panthers.
Oh yeah, dude, that was awesome. But I think it could have been like last year. But I think the Panthers, with how they played against Boston, they just had all the momentum just to go in and sweep whatever team they played next.
Yeah, exactly. And like I'm saying, like it makes me happy because, in my opinion, the Panthers fans, like the 13 of them out there.
Hey, Brooks Koepka's part of them though.
Oh yeah,
did you
I
see
saw
him
that.
cracked out on freaking coke?
Yes.
That dude did not blink for that whole entire clip. That was
that.
hilarious.
The clap to blink ratio.
It was perfect. It was.
And also Mike McDaniel showing up, hitting the drum.
McDaniel with the Carter Verhaeghe jersey on, just showing the love there.
Yeah.
I mean, those Panthers fans are loyal to just staying through all the ups and downs they had this season and coming in just trying to beat the Bruins in the first round, and then in the second round, everybody just was on their side after beating the Bruins.
And I mean, I'm sure there were some Lightning fans that converted.
I know Braden and Trey, who are diehard Lightning fans. They're definitely like, I want to see the Panthers lose, but at the same time, like it'd be cool if they won, because Panthers and Lightning are just big rivals and all that.
Yeah, I feel that same way. It's just the only reason I want them to win is for it to be a Florida team to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. Other than that, like, yeah, we have more Stanley Cups than them, but like their little brother mentality against the Lightning is just so annoying that I don't want them to even talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, hopefully Vegas does their thing.
Vegas hopes for a sweep tonight.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Vegas, for being a third-year team and having a roster this good is just kind of crazy to me. Them and the Kraken too. The Kraken getting past the Avalanche in 7 in the first round, I think, was also a really big feat for them.
Seeing how the Stars are like about to get swept, it makes me so mad because
Did you see the fans throwing stuff on the ice after the second period? They were all like throwing beer cans and a bunch of trash on the ice, and they had to take the players in the locker room early.
See, this is why hockey's actually awesome, man. And like I said, if you're one of those people that thinks hockey doesn't belong in Florida, get over it.
Two of the best teams play in Florida. This is funny that the people think it doesn't belong here.
And then I hate when people are like, it's because they have all these Russians and Canadians. That's the whole league. Exactly.
It's teams that come from Michigan, Russia, all the European and Asian countries, and it comes down to it. They're gonna eventually learn English, and I don't know why people hate on it. Like, they're not all just back there yelling Russian and at each other, but.
I agree with that. Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. We'll see what the Stanley Cup is going to be. I'm very excited for it.
I definitely think that it's going to be going to 6 or 7. I don't see either team sweeping it. With how good the Vegas have been playing with a lot of speed, and their defense has also been really good. And then just Panthers having, I think, the best goalie in the league right now. Yeah. Well, in the playoffs, not the league. But him and Tkachuk and all them just bring a lot of momentum. And the thing is, the only thing I was just wondering is I wonder how Bob's going to play with having so much time off between now and the Stanley Cup. Is he just going to stay the same, or is he going to slow down a little bit?
Yeah, like lose the momentum that they've already built up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very big possibility, especially going into like one of the biggest games. And this team, I don't really know much about this team, but I mean, the franchise in general hasn't been since 1996. So you're talking about, I don't know about these players if they've went recently, but a franchise as a whole, this is a whole new scene. The Vegas Golden Knights went like 20.
It was 2019, I think. They went to the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm pretty sure they got like 4-1.
Yeah, they
but
did.
then they made the playoffs next year. They missed out last year, and then they're back. They're going to be back there again this year. And I mean, them and the Kraken for the two teams being in the playoffs this year, and they're just the Kraken were the biggest shock. Nobody really saw them being the Avalanche with how Korpisalo played in the first round. It was a really big shock because Korpisalo, who played for the Avalanche before, going and just putting up great numbers in the 7 games they played.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that it was kind of sad for Avalanche fans.
Oh, it was funny because they lost him in the whatever the draft is.
Oh yeah, the expansion draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of not really a fan of the Kraken. If I love their unis, I love everything about like that team. So
I was talking with Brayden and I was like, dude, why do you have a Kraken jersey? And he's like, that's my second favorite team. I was like, that's kind of random, but I dig it.
Yeah, he came over for the Seattle. He came over to our dorm for the Seattle Avalanche game, and he was wearing it. Trey slid. I don't think he has any Seattle stuff, but
no, I don't think Trey roots for anybody other than the Lightning, really.
Yeah. I don't blame him. I'm more of just Preds and Lightning, but mainly Lightning. That's who I grew up on. So other than that, let's move on to our next and last segment, which is going to be our draft day. All things Mike.
Yep, and I just did the draft order, and Dingles will have the first pick. I will have the second pick, and Nick, you have the last pick. So whenever you're ready, Dingles, you can start us off.
First pick, I think it's kind of obvious. It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that wasn't really obvious to me because you'll see my pick, but
I mean, he's the best basketball player, second best. I think LeBron's best.
All right, with my pick,
that's for another day.
It's for another time.
With my pick, I'm gonna go with the king of pop, Michael Jackson.
Great pick.
Great pick, but y'all have forgotten.
Dude, touch kids, but we'll talk about it.
It's for Conspiracy Pod. All right, but y'all forgot about the GOAT of all Michaels, Michael Cabrera.
It's a great pick. I mean, that should have gone 1-1, but that's on me.
All right. Oh, by the way, this is a snake draft, and I'll go through the picks real quick. With the first pick, Dingles took Michael Jordan. With the second pick, I took Michael Jackson. And with the third pick, Nick took Michael Cabrera.
Give me, dude. There's actually like so many good Michaels. I'm not even joking, but just because I know Michael Cabrera is gonna pick him. Give me Mike Tyson.
I wasn't gonna pick him actually.
Really?
No,
that's a good pick. I like
that is a good pick though. The pick I'm picking is who I thought you were about to go. I'm going Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Wow, I really wish I remembered him. I actually would have went with him one. Love Michael Scott.
Of course.
I'm gonna go with Michael Jordan, Michael B. Jordan.
Sticking in that round.
All right, that round it goes Mike Tyson at 1, Michael Scott at 2, and Michael B. Jordan at 3. Dingles, you can go ahead.
Let me look for a sec. I'm gonna go with Michael J. Fox.
That's a good one.
Sucks that he has what's it called? Parkinson's. Yeah. But
still a GOAT.
Back to the future GOAT.
With my next pick, I'm gonna go George Michael.
Say what? George Michael.
George Michael.
Oh, okay.
Isn't he gay?
Is he? Yeah,
I think he is gay. I was kind of surprised about that whenever I.
Yeah, my mom was disappointed.
a lot of women were. All right, for me, I'm going to take Michael Phelps.
Oh, I totally forgot about Michael Phelps. All right, that round, it goes Michael J. Fox, George Michael, and Michael Phelps.
And like I said, there's so many good ones, guys, but give me Mike Wazowski.
Damn.
It's another good one.
Mike Wazowski. All right. With my next pick, I'm going to go Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Michael Keaton.
Dang, I forgot about him too.
Really?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be in the new
Flash.
Yeah, the Flash movie.
Hey, it's Batman. But that round, it goes Mike Wazowski at 1, Michael Myers at 2, and Michael Keaton at 3. All right, Dingles, this is your last pick.
I'm going to go with like a childhood flashback, Michael Bublé.
The king of Christmas.
Best Christmas album ever made.
With my next pick, there's actually a lot left I could have gone with.
Yeah.
But, you know what? I'm going to go with Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch.
Wow.
Never watched the Brady Bunch, so I don't exactly know who that guy is. I'm sorry.
He's like the dad, man. Yeah, so there's actually a lot. Actually, a lot left.
A lot.
Give me Michael Cera.
Michael Cera?
Yeah. Cera. You know who that is, right? From Superbad?
Oh, yeah, I do. All right.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, guys.
That round went Michael Bublé at 1, Mike Brady at 2, and Michael Cera at 3. Let me go through each team. So Team Dingles is Michael Jordan, Michael B. Jordan, Michael J. Fox, Michael Keaton, and Michael Bublé. And Team Mike, Michael Jackson, Michael Scott, George Michael, Michael Myers, and Mike Brady. And Team Nick, Michael Cabrera, Mike Tyson, Michael Phelps, Mike Wazowski, and Michael Cera.
Cera, yeah. Man, that was actually a great draft. I like these. We got to do John next.
Oh, Jesus. Let me get on with it. I'll tell you who's not first pick. It's John.
But a few other ones that we didn't mention was Michael DeSanta from GTA.
Yeah, I had that.
On top of that, Mike from Breaking Bad. I just couldn't pronounce his last name. Michael Strahan. That's who I was.
Mike Ermitrout?
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Ermitrout. That's how you say
it.
There
was Mikey from the Goonies. There was Squints. His name was Michael from Sandlot.
And then also, I don't know if you guys know this, but you remember the Carbonaro effect?
Oh, Michael Carbonaro. Yeah. Oh, and Michael Vick. We forgot them.
Yeah. Also, Michael Bay, if you want some explosions going on. That's going to do it for episode 50 of Against the Call. Dingles, we're so glad that you got to come on.
Thank you guys for having me, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, of course. And we definitely expect to have you in the future, man, especially as
maybe I can come back for episode 100.
Every 50 episodes, let's have Dingles. But yeah, and look forward to playing with you in fantasy football next season.
Hopefully I don't lose again,
as always. But other than that, just thank you for coming on. And Michael, you have anything else you want to say?
No, just thank you for listening, guys. Make sure you use all of our codes, ATC on SeatGeek for $20 off your first purchase. Against the Call and all caps for 10% off your next purchase at www.w.gg, and buy our merch, please.
All right, that's gonna do it for this episode, everyone. We'll catch you in the next one.